Good morning. This is the Paradise Unicorn Priestess bringing you day 310 of A Course in Miracles, the Yin translation where we use female words. This would be November 6th if you're starting at the new year. True perception, knowledge. The world you see is an illusion of a world. God did not create it, for what she creates must be eternal as herself. Yet there is nothing in the world you see that will endure forever. Some things will last in time a little while longer than others, but the time will come when all things visible will have an end. The body's eyes are therefore not the means by which the real world can be seen, for the illusions that they look upon must lead to more illusions of reality. And so they do, for everything they see not only will not last, but lends itself to thoughts of sin and guilt, while everything that God created is forever without sin and therefore is forever without guilt. Knowledge is not the remedy for false perception, since being another level they can never meet. The one correction possible for false perception must be true perception. It will not endure, but for the time it lasts, it comes to heal. True perception is a remedy with many names: forgiveness, salvation, atonement. True perception, all are one. They are the one beginning, with the end to lead to oneness far beyond themselves. True perception is the means by which the world is saved from sin, for sin does not exist, and it is this that true perception sees. The world stands like a block before Christ's face, but true perception looks on it as nothing more than just a fragile veil, so easily dispelled that it can last no longer than an instant. It is seen at last for only what it is, and now it cannot fail to disappear, for now there is an empty place made clean and ready. Where destruction was perceived, the face of Christ appears, and in that instant is the world forgot, with time forever ended as the world spins into nothingness from where it came. A world forgiven cannot last. It was the home of bodies, but forgiveness looks past bodies. This is its holiness. This is how it heals. The world of bodies is the world of sin, for only if there were a body is sin possible. From sin comes guilt, as surely as forgiveness takes all guilt away. And once all guilt is gone, what more remains to keep a separated world in place? For place has gone as well along with time. Only the body makes the world seem real, for being separate, it could not remain where separation is impossible. Forgiveness proves it is impossible because it sees it not, and what you then will overlook will not be understandable to you, just as its presence once had been your certainty. This is the shift that true perception brings. What was projected out is seen within, and there forgiveness lets it disappear. For there the altar to the child is set, and there her mother is remembered. Here are all illusions brought to truth and laid upon the altar. What is seen outside must lie beyond forgiveness, for it seems to be forever sinful. Where is hope while sin is seen as outside? What remedy can guilt expect? But seen within your mind, guilt and forgiveness for an instant lie together side by side upon one altar. There at last are sickness and its single remedy joined in one healing brightness. God has come to claim her own. Forgiveness is complete. And now God's knowledge, changeless, certain, pure, and wholly understandable, enters its kingdom. Gone is perception, false and true alike. Gone is forgiveness, for its task is done. And gone are bodies in the blazing light upon the altar to the child of God. God knows it is her own as it is hers. And here they join, for here the face of Christ has shone away time's final instant. And now is the last perception of the world without a purpose and without a cause. For where God's memory has come at last, there is no journey, no belief in sin, no walls, no bodies, and the grim appeal of guilt and death is there snuffed out forever. Oh, my sisters, if you only knew the peace that will envelop you and hold you safe and pure and lovely in the mind of God. You could but rush to meet her where her altar is. Hallowed your name and hers, for they are joined here in this holy place. Here she leans down to lift you up to her, out of illusions into holiness, out of the world and to eternity, out of all fear and given back to love. We have seen how this section of the Manual for Teachers, the clarification of terms, has a form in which it brings two terms and it compares and contrasts them. Sometimes they have similarities, sometimes they are seemingly opposites. In today's, with true perception and knowledge, it reminds us that these two things can never meet. The realm of heaven, eternity, oneness, and knowledge does not contain perception, it does not contain time or space. We are told that it is the only reality, and what is called by the Course the real world is an interesting term chosen because the Course repeatedly reminds us that even the real world is an illusion and is temporary and will pass away. But it is form still, of a sort, that is as close to heaven as form can possibly get. It is a place where all needs and wants are met for all, and it is seen that all is one and that form is not needed or wanted. Perhaps it could be thought of as a sort of way station where those who have learned to perceive it because of forgiveness continue their work as teachers to invite those still very much asleep to join them. And then when all have joined, then time and space and illusions and form no longer have a purpose. The oneness is seen, and then God herself takes the final step to bring us across that threshold from all perception into knowledge. We are reminded that from the beginning of this course, the lessons were focused on teaching us to see differently. And here it comes out and says that the body's eyes are not the means by which the real world is seen. And indeed, elsewhere in the Course, it says the body's eyes don't see at all. That's part of the illusion that we think that they do. And as with so many things in the Course, we can apply dream logic to this. We know that when we dream at night, we experience images then, and clearly we are not using the body's eyes to perceive them. It is something that is happening in the mind. And the Course invites us to consider that that is the same as for what we think of as our waking experience, that even then we are not actually using the body's eyes to see. So the faculties for seeing that the Course is asking us to use are not of the body. Now, I recently have become aware of people in various places here in our world of this dream illusion are learning to see without their eyes. And there are these inspiring videos of children reading books with blindfolds. They're randomly handed a book that they don't know what it is. They open the book and they're able to perceive the words on the page without using their eyes. This is just one of many things that they learn to do. They're also doing things like riding bikes and driving these little cars around on a track and shooting at targets and naming colors of things, all without their eyes, because they've been taught to perceive without them. And even people who have visual impairments or are completely blind have received this training. It was a powerful reminder to me that it is true what the Course says. True vision does not come from the body's eyes, and we are being taught to see a different way. And it is with this vision that we forgive. We are, in essence, being taught to let go of the reported messages that our body's senses tell us, to withdraw our faith from that. And we do it by placing faith in God, in essence, love, that love would not have created the things that the body's senses tell us. Even if they seem pleasant, we learn by our experience that that pleasantness is transitory and that there is much that our body senses tell us that is very painful. And the Course teaches us to not want that world anymore because we see that even though there are things in it that are pleasant, they inevitably turn to painful things. The Course teaches us that the ego cannot be at peace, and that even things wished for become unwanted. This changeability, it says, is not of heaven, that the vision given us by forgiveness is much more stable. It is, in essence, a safe illusion that is given to us by love, and it is that we seek, and we invite others to seek it also. And the more we withdraw from the body's senses and instead rely on the senses that are given us by love, the more we strengthen together our perception, our true perception of the real world, paradise, and draw closer to the time when we will be ready to return to God entirely. For it is in paradise that we see that we don't need illusions anymore. This passage explains to us that the world of bodies is the realm of sin, because without bodies, sin would not be possible. The whole concept of bodies is the concept of separation and being vulnerable to the possibility of being harmed. Forgiveness denies all these things, and it sees that what is happening is all on the inside. What is projected outside is not the actual substance. It is a result, not the cause. The process of bringing illusions to truth is a thing that is done internally, because that's where the altar is. We bring those illusions within and lay them on the altar next to forgiveness, and the two cancel each other out. What is on the outside is seen as irrelevant. That is the illusion that has no truth in it. Truth cannot be brought out there to do anything to what is out there. But our understanding of the miracle is the out there changes as response to what is inside. That is the happy dream. Out there is where form happens, or so it seems to. The passage says the world stands like a block before Christ's face, but true perception looks on it as nothing more than just a fragile veil, so easily dispelled it can last no longer than an instant. So our task is to let the block be thinned until it is a fragile veil. The last perception is Christ's face. That is where we behold that all is beautiful and pure and innocent and holy. That is all we see. It is the last perception before perception is no more. So how do we thin this heavy block? We don't do it out there. We do it by bringing inside that which we acknowledge is meaningless. We take anything that feels painful and we bring it within and offer it up for healing wherever we find it. And our vigilance is to discern what is painful. And the more we recognize our oneness and the more we forgive, the more we realize that things that we had been projecting outward to try and keep us safe from harm, well, there is no outward. It's all us. That's only perpetuating harm. So the more we realize that, the more we'll feel those things as being of a truth painful, and the more we will desire to bring those things within for healing. The very first lessons of the Course, which ask us to look at the things our body's eyes see and declare them meaningless, has us, in essence, stripping the pain of all the forms and stories that we thought were the origin of the pain. We just take the pain itself and we bring that inside for healing. Because the forms don't mean anything. It is not the thing to be healed. The thing to be healed is the pain. We are often reassured by the narrator of A Course in Miracles, from their vantage point and their perspective, that what awaits us when we complete the work of forgiveness is such great joy and answers all our longings and all that feels broken. And once again, it does so here. It says, "Oh, my sisters, if you only knew the peace that will envelop you and hold you safe and pure and lovely in the mind of God, you could but rush to meet her where her altar is." And that is the enthusiasm that really brings acceleration to this process. The fear, that's resistance, that's holding it off. And the Holy Spirit never intrudes upon our will, our seemingly separate will, which is but an illusion. It doesn't matter. The Holy Spirit respects it. What the Holy Spirit would like to see is our enthusiasm, our excitement and anticipation for what is on offer. That's the reason why I love to end each podcast with the wish for all of us, happy practicing. For we are told the Holy Spirit loves a happy learner. Pain is not a good teacher. Joy is. Today's the last day that we review What is the Second Coming, found in show notes. Then we go on to lesson 310. In fearlessness and love I spend today. This day, my mother, would I spend with you, as you have chosen all my days should be. And what I will experience is not of time at all. The joy that comes to me is not of days nor hours, for it comes from heaven to your child. This day will be your sweet reminder to remember you, your gracious calling to your holy child, the sign your grace has come to me, and that it is your will I be set free today. We spend this day together, you and I, and all the world joins with us in our song of thankfulness and joy to her who gave salvation to us and who set us free. We are restored to peace and holiness. There is no room in us for fear today, for we have welcomed love into our hearts. That is the lesson for the day. Happy practicing.